कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरु त्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue to today's session. I request Mary Florence to introduce Muthaiya Ramanathan ji. Mary, you can unmute yourself and introduce Muthaiya ji.
I'm very glad to introduce Muthaiya Ramanathan sir. He serves as the director and founder of Mind Dynamics Chennai. He specializes in transaction analysis, hypnosis, psychology, and neuro-linguistic programming. He has served as the president for Hypnotic Circle Chennai for 14 years. He has done his post-graduation from the Madras University, PG Diploma in Guidance and Counseling from the Annamalai University. He has done his MS in Psychotherapy from the Institute of Psychotherapy and Management Sciences, Mumbai. He has more than 20 online certificates in psychology and allied subjects from various international universities all over the world. He is certified trainer in NLP from NLP, Florida, USA of Mr. William Horton. He has a practitioner certificate in NLP from the Institute of Mr. Richard Mike Hung. He has a certificate in NLP from the American Board of NLP. He has certificate in hypnotherapy from the American Board of Hypnotherapy. In well over 30 years, he has been presenting training programs on all aspects of personality development to well over 1 lakh people in English and Tamil all over the world. He has also presented in-house training programs in Malaysia and Sri Lanka and online training programs in USA. More than 1,000 people from 50 different countries have taken his course Transactional Analysis A to Z in a nutshell in the international educational platform udemy.com. More than 100 of his videos on the various aspects of personality development, including psychology, hypnosis, and management, are available on his YouTube channel, Mind Dynamics Tamil. 3 to 4 days in a week, he makes online presentations on review of books on psychology and self-development in several WhatsApp groups in English and Tamil. He has written 2 bestseller books in Tamil, published by Kannadasan. Kannadasan, the powers of subconscious mind and hypnosis, how to score more than 90% in exams. He has more than 10,000 books on self-development and psychology in his library. He enjoys reading and speaking. We are very happy, sir, to invite you.
Thank you very much. We warmly welcome you, Muthaiya sir, for your session, and we invite you to take over for your session.
Welcome.
Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Ravindra and Mary Florence Peda, and welcome to all the participants here. And the topic of the day is Feminine Psychology by Karan Hani, a psychoanalyst. So what I'm going to do is I'll talk about Karan Hani to start with as an individual, as a lady, and then her biography, so that how come she came into this field and how did she impact other people or impact psychology as a subject is one area. Another one is she specialized in neurosis, neurotic problems and neurosis. She specialized in the area, and that's another angle. And another one is discussing about self. Who am I and what am I and where am I going and what is happening with my life. And that leads to neurosis. That's another story. Talking about self and self-concept and other areas. And another one is Neo-Freudianism. As a psychoanalyst, what did she do? And then she switched over to Neo-Freudianism and went out of the way, bringing in feminine psychology and differing with the Dr. Sigmund Freud himself. So these are the areas that I'm going to cover. To start with, who is Karan Horney? K-A-R-E-N. Karan Horney, H-O-R-N-E-Y. Karan Horney. Originally, she was born in 1885, about 135 years back, 37 years back, and she expired in 1952, meaning about 70 years back. And originally born in Berlin in Germany, and then as a little girl, 11 years old or so, she started writing journals and diaries about her own self. And she said, I'm going to be somebody worthwhile later in my life. I'll become a leader. I'll become somebody worthwhile and do something worthwhile for the society at large. So as a youngster herself, she has decided to do something worthwhile much early in life, as even as a teenager or even in the pre-teens life. That's one another angle. And then she was brought up by her mummy, daddy, and they had some difference of opinions and they were always quarreling. And with the result, she went into neurotic problems herself because she has had many a point of time, she has had episodes of neurosis. And that's the reason why she started specializing in that field, such that other people do not get into the same issues like me. And she, when talking about her father's name is Bernd Danielson. When talking about her father, she says he's a Bible thrower, meaning there were 3 girls, she along with 2 more sisters. And whenever daddy gets angry, the Bible is a huge book. And he used to throw the Bible at children and telling them not to make noise or behave themselves. So he addresses, calls his father as a Bible thrower, meaning he was a threatening person, not much of a loving, caring person. And mummy was by name Clotilde, C-L-O-T-I-L-D-E, Clotilde. And what she did was she was a domineering personality by herself. And then she was an irritable person by another. And then she kept quiet whenever daddy shouted at them or daddy punished children. She did not intervene. She did not take care of them. So that's another angle. So daddy was not okay from the children's point of view. Also, mummy was also not okay from the children's point of view. That led to a lot of psychological issues in her life. And 1885, when she was 19 years old, or when, in 1904, her mummy decides daddy is not the right person to live with. So she takes all the 3 girls along with her and moves away from the home. So that was in 1904 and she was 19 years old. And before that, when she was a teenager, maybe 13 or some such like, at that point she was much attracted to her elder brother. Elder brother was a nice character, an intelligent person, an outgoing person, an extrovert and a jovial person. She was very fond of her elder brother. And it so happened she made some advances, very likely sexual advances it could be. It's not quite clear. It simply says, the literature simply says that she made some advances with her brother. But then the brother rejected her. She said, move away, don't touch me or some such. With the result, she has had 2 kinds of experiences. One, she felt insulted. 2, she felt guilty about what she did. So because of the rejection of her elder brother, she felt so bad that threw her into neurosis. And because she made some advances which was not quite culturally okay, not quite okay in all respects, she felt bad about herself. She felt guilty about her own actions, and then that again triggered neurosis. So that way, daddy was not okay, mummy was not protective, and mummy leaves daddy, and they were always quarreling. And as a teenager, she makes some moves, and at the same time, she also felt, I am not likable, I am not lookable, I am not lovable. So she was really good. She was good looking. She was not such a beautiful or some such like an actress or some such. She was good looking, but she felt I am not okay, I am not good looking. I may not get any person to love or be with or connect with or get married to. So with the result, she said, the only way that I can become prominent is by focusing more attention on my studies, get educated. If I get educated, somebody will marry me, or I can take care of myself all by myself if I don't get any person in my life also. So 2 areas, If I become well educated, I'll be liked by other people, taken over by other people. Then I become lovable. I can get along with people. Or if in case nobody likes me, nobody cares for me, I can be on my own with my educational qualification. It all happens, I'm telling you, around 1900s. She was born in 1885, 1900s, and she decides to study. In those days, in 1900, even in Germany, girls do not go to college. Girls are not accepted in the universities. She convinced university authorities saying that I want to study, and got an admission in the college and becomes qualified, become a degree holder. She was one of the first women in Germany to become a graduate. Not that it's a village. The entire Germany itself in 1900, and she goes on to joining a college. That in itself was an achievement. As I told you earlier, she started writing journals, and she started thinking of herself as a worthwhile person by educating herself, by becoming very good in education, academic qualification. That's what she wanted. And then it so happens 1910 or 1909 or so, she joins university, and 1908 she joins the university. 1909 she marries Horney Oscar Horney, and that's how she becomes Karen Danielson to Karen Horney. And then in 1910 she delivers a baby, and then 1911 she gets a degree, and in 1911 mummy also dies. So very many things happen in a short span of time, about 1909, 10 and 11, wherein she joins the college, and then she gets married, and then she delivers a baby, and then mommy dies, and then she gets a qualification, and she goes into depression one another time. Earlier, when she was young, she went into depression. When she made some advances towards her brother, she went into depression and neurosis. Again in 1909, 10, 11, because of too many things happening in her life which are not manageable by her, she went into depression and neurosis. Again, later what happened was, around 1923, her brother was 40 years old. He died in an accident, and she went into depression. 1925, her husband's business went for a toss, and he became broke or insolvent or bankrupt. And 1926, he closes down the office, and he gets a brain hemorrhage and a meningitis, some problem in the brain, and he becomes incapacitated. 1927, she leaves him and takes the children away and lives separately. 1927, she divorces her husband. So around 1923, elder brother dies. 1925, husband's business goes for a toss. 1926, declared bankrupt, and he gets meningitis, a problem in the brain. 1926-27, she leaves her husband. 1927-28, she divorces him and be on her own, living on her own with her children. Again, too many things happening again and again in a short span of time, in a couple of years. Again, she goes into neurosis. Because of this again and again recurring episodes of neurosis, she started specializing in neurosis itself, thinking, why am I this way? Why things are happening this way? Why I am not able to manage my life properly? And that's one another area. And then she goes on to getting a medical degree, and then she goes on to studying psychoanalysis in Germany, in Berlin, along with I think Karl Abraham. Karl Abraham. Maybe I do not know whether it was in Berlin or it was in New York. And she studies psychoanalysis in Berlin, and then she joins the Berlin Psychoanalytic Institute, and then she becomes a faculty or a professor or a teacher there in the Berlin Psychoanalytic Institute. It all happens in 1913-15, and 13-15 she studies psychoanalysis, and 1915 later she becomes a teaching faculty in the Berlin Psychoanalytic Institute. And then somewhere in 1930, she moves over from Germany because of this depression and Nazi Germany activity in German, and because of Hitler's movement and all. And she moves over along with children. She goes over to Brooklyn. Brooklyn is supposed to be intellectual capital of the world in those days. I'm talking about 1930s. And she goes there, and then she becomes friends with Henry Stack Sullivan, a great psychoanalyst and a psychologist. And then she becomes a friend of Erich Fromm, E-R-I-C, Erich, F-R-O-M-M. Henry Stack Sullivan, H-E-N-R-Y, Henry Stack, S-T-A-C-K, Sullivan, S-U-L-L-I, VAN. So two great psychologists and psychoanalysts, she joins with them and she works with them. She becomes friends with them. And later she has an affair with Erich Fromm and stays with him and lives with him, and later gets into issues and breaks up with him and moves away from him. So that was another by story. And she marries a person called Harney. And Harney, in psychoanalytic language or in Freudian concepts, he was a verbatim replica of her father. Her father, Danielson, who was a Bible thrower, who never respected children, who never treated children properly, who was never caring and loving towards children, who was always tough like a military officer, always punished them, always scolded them. She typically finds out one another person exactly a replica of her daddy and marries Harney. Harney does all those things, the same thing. Whatever daddy did to mummy, her husband did to her. Whatever daddy did to her as children, as child or children, and her husband did to her children. And with the result, she also moves away from Harney. Right? So, Joe Bailey, we used to say, again and again, we marry the same kind of person, or somehow or other, we like daddy, hate daddy. We always marry daddy. Children always marry daddy, and boys always marry mummy, meaning exact replica or a copy or a model of the same person. I may hate my daddy as a lady, but then I will marry somebody who is exactly like my daddy and get into problems. That's how I am. Same way a man also marries, he may dislike or hate his mummy, but then he will pick up a girl who is resembles exactly like his mummy, and then gets into problems. It's all psychological, in-depth psychology, psychoanalysis or hypnoanalysis or transactional or neuro-linguistic programming. All these things, they have a very vital role in finding out why people behave like that. Normally, superficially, left brain, logical thinking, conscious state of mind, or velippu, unarvu, nilai, we will say, if I hate daddy, I will have nothing to do with daddy. But the point here is, irony is, the oxymoron is, I will hate daddy, I will marry somebody like daddy. I will hate mummy and marry someone like mummy. Right? It goes in a way, unless you know psychotherapy, you will not be able to understand. Unless you know something in the right brain or in the Almanam, Adimanam, Ulmanam, Kilmanam, or subconscious mind or unconscious mind, we will not be able to cull out the reasons why we behave the way we behave. Superficially, we think, logically, we think, rationally, we think something else shall happen, but underneath, emotionally, something else is happening. Right? Coming back here, she has decided to become a doctor. When she was 11, 12, she decided to become a doctor, even though universities do not accept ladies at that point of time. She was a very hard nut to crack, or somebody decides, even if she decides to do something, she will definitely do something. That's the kind of person Karan Harney is. And then later she goes out to Brooklyn, and then she becomes a teaching faculty in New York Psychoanalytic Institute, and then she becomes an assistant director, and then she becomes a director or dean of the Psychoanalytic Institute. And then she differs with Freud, and then she says whatever Freud said about psychoanalysis, wherever there is a male role to play, she disagreed with it, saying that Freud is a male. All psychoanalysts were males at that point of time, or they were all men. No woman was there, and she was the pioneering woman, first lady to enter into psychoanalysis, become a teaching faculty, and become an office bearer, and become the dean of the Psychoanalytic Institute and president or some such. At that point of time, she seriously disagreed with the Dr. Sigmund Freud, and then she said his penis envy message, or psychosexual development, and men penis envy, and all those things. I'll give you details as I come by. So she was differing with Freud very vehemently, saying that it's men's point of view, not necessarily that it's true for women. Oedipus complex and penis envy are the two important areas. She differed with Freud and fought with Freud, and she said this doesn't work. It's a male's point of view, doesn't work. And then she goes on to, she becomes the president or the dean of the American Psychoanalytic Institute, and then she goes on to publishing books and writing articles and speaking about it. And that was the first year. She enters, and then she takes over, and then she says, this is what I'm going to do. Similarly, I used to talk about Martin Seligman. Martin Seligman becomes the president of the American Psychological Association. And the moment he enters, he says, People were talking about psychology and psychological problems. I'm going to change the whole damn thing. We are going to talk about positive psychology, happiness psychology, and that becomes his motto, that became his theme. And then he changed the entire realm of American Psychological Association into positive psychology for the first time, the moment he became president of the American Psychological Association. Similarly, this lady, Karan Hani, the moment she becomes the president of the American Psychoanalytic Institute, she declares that I am going to fight with Freud. I'm going to create a new subject called feminine psychology and a new kind of psychoanalysis. In less than a year, people could not tolerate, because she was the only lady and she was the president. She was dictating terms to all the people, and she was differing with the founder of psychoanalysis, Dr. Sigmund Freud himself, and they could not take it, and they said, resign and get out. She said, to hell with you. She she wrote a resignation letter. She said, to hell with you, and she started her own American Psychoanalytic Institute in New York. So she was a fighter, right? Whatever she believes in, she will believe. She will put it into action. Her thoughts and feelings and action, they all go together. She's an integrated whole personality. In spite of all her setbacks, all her earlier childhood experiences, if she decides to do something, she will definitely get the damn thing done, right? Coming over. As I told you earlier, she was differing with Dr. Sigmund Freud in an area called penis envy. In psychosexual development is one of the pet theories of famous theories of popular theories of psychoanalysis, and Dr. Sigmund Freud, wherein a little girl and little boy, maybe they are 4 years old and 5 years old, and when they were taking bath or playing around or changing their clothing or whatever, being in the same family, being in the neighborhood, whatever, the boy looks at the girl and the girl looks at the boy in the nude form. And the girl looks at the boy and thinks that the boy has got something called a penis, and she doesn't know the name penis. She thinks he has got something which is extra, which is not with me. When all other practical purposes, I and he look like the same, but then he has got something extra. Maybe he did something worthwhile and got it as a prize, or maybe I also had the same thing. I committed a mistake, so shall they cut it off, and that's how I lost it. And whenever I look at a boy, because he has got something, I envy him. Like the poor man envying the rich man, like the person who doesn't have a motorcycle looks at a man with a motorcycle and envies him, or a person without a car looking at a person with a car and being jealous of him. Similarly, here the girl becomes jealous. The girl is envious of the boy, and it's called as penis envy. And sometimes the boy also goes into problems called a castration complex. That's not here, but in order to make the whole subject complete, to give a clear picture, I'm bringing in that angle also, so that the whole picture is gets completed. The boy has got a castration complex, meaning that he looks at the girl and he finds out that she doesn't have an organ which he has, and he thinks maybe she made a mistake, so cut it off. If I also make a mistake, they will also cut it off and take it away, so that I need to oblige. I need to be responsible. I need to be always catering to the needs of mommy and daddy. If I don't listen to mommy and daddy, they will cut it off. But maybe she did something wrong and they cut it off, and she doesn't have it. He has got a castration meaning cutting off. Castration complex, he has got a complex saying that even though I have it, I may lose it, I need to protect it. So he has got a castration complex, and she has got a penis envy complex, right? So that's how it was around 4 or 5 years old. And another one is called Oedipus complex. Oedipus is a person, when he was born, a Delphi's oracle or an oracle comes over from the mountain, a sound comes or a phrase comes saying that this boy is going to kill his daddy and marry his mummy. It's all Greek mythology, and if you access the internet and check up Oedipus complex, there is 7 pages, full story, complete story is available, a beautiful story. It's a story, a beautiful story. And he is the prince. It's the mummy is a queen, daddy is a king of the location. And the king, the moment he gets the Delphi's oracle, he says, kill the baby, and hands it over to the servant. The servant didn't want to kill the baby. He took the baby somewhere else and he put it in the river or something in a basket. And some farmer or a villager or an agriculturist, he looks at the basket, picks up the baby and takes care of the baby and nourishes the baby, and the boy grows up and he becomes 20 years old youngster, and then he wanted to explore all the other areas around, and then he moves over to the native place. Then he lives in a different town, and king was in a different town. He moves over, and as he passing by, there was a small bridge, and in the bridge, maybe 1 foot bridge, like a walker's bridge there, and he walks through the bridge in order to cross and go over to his native place, which he doesn't know. He doesn't know that's a place he is a prince of that location. He doesn't know. But at the same time, the king also keeps moving on the same bridge on the opposite side. The king came this way. King, because of his location, with all his pampas and all those things, he was walking majestically, thinking that this youngster will give way to me, will go back. But then the youngster doesn't know this is his town and this is the king. And both of them come together each other, and they were saying, give me way, and no, both of them are not giving way to each other. At that point, then the youngster picks up a sword and kicks at the king, and the king dies on the spot. And then he doesn't know it's the king. He kills the king, and he crosses the bridge and goes into the town. And the moment he enters the town, all the people in the town, they become so happy, and they welcome him, and he doesn't understand why is it. And they say anytime anybody kills the king, they will become the king and they will marry the queen also. And then he was taken to the kingdom, and he was crowned as the king, and then he marries the queen, meaning he marries his mummy. Get the point? He doesn't know it was his daddy, the king, who he killed. He doesn't know it is his mummy who he is marrying, but that was the custom. So this is Oedipus complex. So Freud got attracted to reading this story, and then he gave an impression in psychosexual development wherein he says the boy always wanted the attention of mummy. He wanted 100% mummy to himself, but then there is always daddy coming in between, and daddy taking over mummy, and mummy is not available because of daddy. If only I can kill daddy and eliminate him, I can have mummy all by myself. So that's the thinking of the 4 years, 5 years old boy, where it's kind of Freud terms it as a Oedipus complex. Now, boy loves his mummy, but when boy doesn't get mummy's love 100% because of the reason daddy coming in between. And if only daddy could be eliminated, if only I can kill daddy, I can take over mummy all by myself. So that's the impression of the boy. It's called Oedipus complex. Again, our Karan Horney contests this. She says there is no such thing called a penis envy. There is no such thing called castration complex or whatever. And there is no such thing called Oedipus complex. And the corollary for Oedipus complex is Electra complex, wherein the girl wants daddy to all by herself, and the little girl, 4 or 5 years old girl, wants daddy. Daddy is not available to the girl fully because there is mummy coming in between and taking daddy over, and she is jealous and she is angry. And if only I can kill mummy, I can have daddy all by myself. That's called Electra complex. That's a corollary to Oedipus complex. Here, Karan Horney says, no Oedipus complex, no Electra complex, no penis envy, no castration complex. It's all because of a man thinking from a man's point of view. This is not okay. And people are people. It is a culture, it is the upbringing, it is the environment, it is the nurturing aspect, it is what is available in the social setup for you. That is what is creating who you are. That is what is creating the problem for you. That is what is allowing you to become ultimately somebody worthwhile in life or so. So for all, whoever you are, if you have psychological problems, your environment is responsible. It is not in the genes or chromosomes or genetics or heredity. It is also not in the area wherein people have a problem and only childhood experiences. It is also in the entire environment, in the sociological setup, wherein I being brought up in the family, I being brought up in the neighborhood, I being brought up in the education institute, I being brought up with other friends in the social circles and other relatives and all those things in the community. All of them play a role in creating who I am, or all of them play a role in creating my problems in my life, either become depressed or neurotic or whatever, right? So she says it is not heredity. It is not only the family environment or early childhood experiences. It is to do with everything around you. It's the environment. That's what she contests. And she also goes on to saying that it is not just penis envy by a girl, it is womb envy by the man, the boy. Womb envy meaning the girl, lady has got a womb or a uterus. For a man, a sexual act is maybe a couple of minutes, maybe a couple of hours. Beyond that, man doesn't have any role to play. Sometimes it also so happens, you and I might have heard of, the lady is pregnant and the husband gets into an accident and dies for some reason. At that point of time, when the baby is born, daddy is not there. These children are called posthumous children. Very nice example that people could know is Bill Clinton, president of USA some 20 years back. He was a posthumous child when he was in mummy's uterus as a 5 months, 6 months old baby. Daddy ended up in an accident and he died. Bill Clinton never looked at his daddy. Even before he was born, daddy was not there. Meaning culturally or naturally, genetically, the daddy need not be there when you were born or when you were delivered. In order to create the baby, in order that a sperm enters a ovum and then it becomes a zygote and becomes a baby-like. For that purpose, man is needed. A couple of minutes, man is needed. Couple of hours, man is needed. Beyond that, man is not at all needed. Man, without the man, the baby can be born. Without the man, the lady can take care of the children also. And one another aspect of Bill Clinton is, Mummy told Bill Clinton, do not worry, daddy is not there. One day you are going to rule the world. This is what Mummy told Bill Clinton. And Bill Clinton, ironically or beautifully, he started believing in Mummy and he said, one day I am going to rule the world. And at 45 years old, one of the youngest presidents of USA, he becomes a president of USA because he truly believed in Mummy. Get the point? So at some point of time, we don't need daddy also. Mummy can compensate for whatever was missing and daddy's role is very limited. Mummy can do wonders with regard to baby's life. Coming back here, she says, Karan Hani says, but the boy is envious of the lady because after my sexual act, nothing more can I do. For anything on the moment the sperm enters the ovum, it becomes a zygote and it starts multiplying and she becomes pregnant at 40 days or other. So we get to know that the man has got very limited role or a negligible role or hardly 1%, 5% role. Without the man, the lady can take care of everything. She will make it as a 3 kg baby and deliver it and nurse the baby for the next, say, 3 months, 6 months or 1 year, give milk, mummy's milk to the baby, and then she can take care of the baby. And the man is envious because the baby is always attached to mummy only. Boy baby or girl baby, doesn't matter. Because the baby was grown into 3 kg by mummy, because the baby is nursing or taking milk from mummy, always physically remaining close with mummy and also gets attached to mummy. Even when they go to school, they remain with only women teachers. With the result, man feels helpless or man feels unemployed, man feels unconnected to the baby in the initial stages of life and he feels very bad. He is envious of his wife, he is envious of the uterus, he is envious of the womb of the lady, right? So in order to compensate, in order to win over the child, in order to do something else, he goes to the office and then he makes money and then he leaves the place and then he works very hard simply because he is envious of the womb of the lady. He is envious of the uterus of the lady and because he wants the love and affection of his children to be with him and he could not get it all by himself unless mummy allows, the baby will not come to daddy. In that context, the daddy has got a complex, the man has got a complex and the complex he names it as womb envy, W-O-M-B, womb envy. And this is an area that nobody thought of. It's a radical area and she differs with him in Oedipus complex, Electra complex and penis envy also, and she creates a new subject called womb envy and man goes out and plays because he cannot win at home. No way he can overtake us, win over the child, no way he can take care of the child like the mummy did because he doesn't have a uterus. No way you can have a uterus, no way you can have a new, no way he can take care of a baby. With the result, all his successes, all his adventures, all his prowesses, everything happens outside the family. He has got to do that. Then that's the only way he can take care of himself. I am also okay. I am also equal to my wife. I am also equal like a lady. So man has got the complex, inferiority complex. Man doesn't know what to do. Man doesn't know how to compete with the lady. So he goes to the office and makes money and competes with other people in order to prove it to himself and in order to prove it to his wife and in order to prove it to other people that I am also capable, I am also okay, I am also normal, I am also worthwhile. Man has got a problem, man has got a complex. That's what she says, right? And then she goes on to, she was the one who coined the term feminine psychology. Earlier it was called as female psychology or lady psychology or woman psychology. She was the one who coined the phrase feminine psychology. She gave a different kind of a terminology. Now if I say feminine psychology, everybody understands. Nobody knows that Karan Horney was the first person to name it as feminine psychology and more took psychology away from the fortress of men. Men were keeping it in a fort and totally enclosed. They said it's men's area, women do not enter. She entered the woman's area and then she called it as we are calling it as general psychology, abnormal psychology, social psychology, developmental psychology, forensic psychology, all sorts of psychology. Parenting psychology, children's psychology, education psychology, industrial psychology, all sorts of psychology. But she was the first person to name a branch in psychology called feminine psychology. Added to that, not only she was a first graduate, first degree holder, first doctor, first psychoanalyst, first teaching faculty of psychoanalysis, woman faculty of psychoanalysis, first woman dean of the American Psychoanalytic Institute, and first lady to be dismissed out of the Psychoanalytic Institute. Everything was a milestone, everything was a mark, and everything was an adventure and a success. Added to that, not only that, she was working with Abraham Maslow. Many a person here might be knowing Abraham Maslow if you know something in management or if you are qualified in management, wherein Abraham Maslow, Abraham, A-B-R-A-H-I-M, Abraham Maslow, M-A-S-L-O-W, he was talking about marketing and motivation and hierarchy of needs, meaning there is a gradation of needs, and he created a triangle or a pyramid, wherein in the lowermost rung of the pyramid, he has got 5 segments in the pyramid. In the lowermost area, Abraham Maslow talks about physiological needs, meaning roti, kapda, makan, or food, shelter, and clothing, or unavu, udai, urayul. Initially, that's a basic need for any human being. If you are a human being, you need a place to stay, and you need clothing, and you need food also. And then you want it ongoingly, today also, tomorrow also, in 20 years later also, in 50 years later also, you need all these things perennially, ongoingly, every day. So it becomes a safety and security need. Safety meaning I have food, shelter, clothing today. Security meaning I will have food, shelter, clothing for the next 10 years, 20 years, guaranteed employment or guaranteed income avenue available to me. And then comes social needs, meaning I would like to be loved and taken care of by people. I would like to be in a team. I would like to be in the community wherein I belong in the community. The community likes me. I like the community. I would like to be friendly with people. I would like to move in the neighborhood, play in the neighborhood, connect with children in the school and the college and all those things. That's a social need. And then after being in the society, I would like to be somebody worthwhile with some powers as maybe an executive committee member of a circle or vice president or secretary or president ultimately, or the MLA or the MP or the minister or the chief minister or the prime minister or the regional manager, area manager, some such. I would like to have a powerful post wherein I can do something worthwhile for the society, and the society will respect me all the more because of what I can do to the society. So that's the fourth need, or it's called esteem needs or power needs. And then comes self-actualization needs, wherein I need nothing from the society. I would like to give whatever the society wants. I would like to download everything in my head. I would like to offer all the money that I have or whatever I have for the benefit of the society, because I got everything from the society earlier in all these years, maybe 10 years, maybe 20 years, maybe 50 years, maybe 60 years. Now is the time to offer something to the society without expecting anything in return from the society. That's called self-actualization. I have myself. This is my actual self. It took from others. It has got to give back to others. Then it becomes normal. Then it becomes equal. Then it becomes justified. Are you with me? So self-actualization is the ultimate need, hierarchy of need in the pinnacle of the pyramid. That's what Abraham Maslow says. Everybody, to my knowledge, a lot of people, everyone connected with management knows Maslow, and everyone knows about hierarchy of needs. But people do not know that self-actualization is a subject offered to Abraham Maslow by our Karan Horney. Karan Horney was the person who talked about self-realization, and she was the one who spoke about self-actualization. Based on her topic on self-realization, in the discussion, Maslow gets to know her point of view, and then he says this is the ultimate goal of a human being. And people know that Abraham Maslow talks about self-actualization. It was given to him by Karan Horney. That's one contribution, very it's humanistic psychology, self-actualization, Abraham Maslow, Karan Horney's contribution. Another area, Alfred Adler. Along with Alfred Adler, people know Alfred Adler connected with the inferiority complex and the superiority complex and birth order, first baby or middle baby or the last baby or only baby, and all those things connected to the Alfred Adler, who was a close associate of Freud earlier and then differed with Freud, moved away and started his own area, and it's called, he is also called as a new Freudian person, new Freudian psychoanalyst. So she joins with Alfred Adler, and she also remains with him, and she was in the pioneer movement along with Adler, creating neo-Freudianism, differing from Freud in very many aspects. Adler differed from Freud in an area called inferiority complex, superiority complex, and birth order area. And Carl Gustav Jung was one of the person who was a close associate of Freud for about 10 years, and then differed with Freud and came out. Erich Fromm is another one. Henry Stack Sullivan is another one. Karan Horney is another one. They were all people who were all close psychoanalysts, learned psychoanalysis, practiced psychoanalysis, taught psychoanalysis, wrote books on psychoanalysis, and later differed with Freud, later differed with psychoanalytic information, and then they created their own subjects. Like Carl Gustav Jung goes on to talking about cosmic consciousness and all those things, right? So, along with Carl Gustav Jung, Alfred Adler, Erich Fromm, and Henry Stack Sullivan, this lady becomes a pioneer, only lady, all the other people are men. Along with them, she creates a neo-Freudian movement, one another dimension. And the third area of contribution in psychology by Karan Horney was starting feminine psychology. Nobody thought of some feminine psychology. Everybody thought psychology, and psychology is for everyone. But they were talking about men's psychology only, male psychology only, male's point of view only. So she was a pioneer in creating feminine psychology. And one another area there was there, I'll get by. And she specialized in neurosis also, talks about neurosis and neurotic problems, and then works on that. In that context, in very many areas, our lady Karan Horney has created new subjects within psychology itself. Are you with me? Neo-Freudian movement is one, hierarchy of needs is another, Alfred Adler is another, Erich Fromm is another, and feminine psychology is another, interpersonal cultural psychology is another, and neurosis is another. These are all the areas. She created new branches and new ideas and offered them in the realm of psychology. And coming over neurosis, because she has had repeated episodes of neurosis, as I told you earlier, living with his daddy, who was an arrogant person, who was a punishing person, never loving, caring person, and then moving away from daddy along with mummy, living separately, and again going into starting your college and getting a degree, and getting married in between, and delivering a baby in between, losing mummy, he goes into depression again, and making sexual advances with brother and goes into depression and neurosis again. And then around 1923, 24, 25, brother dies, and husband's business goes for a toss, becomes bankrupt, and he has got meningitis, brain problem, and she leaves him, and then she divorces him, and then they move over to Brooklyn from Germany to New York, again goes into depression and neurosis. So what is neurosis? I'll give you some of the definitions. Neurosis was a terminology earlier in DSM-2. DSM-2 is a Bible for of the American Psychological Association, Bible for all the people who study psychology, no matter in which country you are. All the 200 countries in the entire world, psychology is decided by the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of the American Psychological Association. Now currently the DSM-5 is going on for the past 10 years, and they are again and again they are repeatedly updating some information, changing some information there. And DSM-3, DSM-2, they were calling a problem as neurosis, or a person as a neurotic. Neurotic is a person who has got a problem with neurosis. And DSM-3 stopped calling it as neurosis, and they started calling it as anxiety. The word anxiety replaced the word neurosis. I am talking about a time when Karan Horney was there, good old days, 100 years back. The neurosis was a terminology applied, and she wrote about neurosis also. Again, another book by Rational Emotive Therapy by Albert Ellis, he also talks about neurosis. Those days, neurosis was the terminology available in the world, and the definition of neurosis is mental, emotional, physical reactions that are drastic and irrational. Neurosis is a word that has been in the use in 1700s to describe mental, emotional, physical reactions that are drastic and not rational also. At its root, a neurotic behavior is an automatic, unconscious effort to compensate or manage deep anxiety. A neurotic personality has little natural buffer against stress or anxiety. You see everyday situations as far worse than how a normal person sees. A normal person looks at a problem and thinks, okay, I can handle it, I can solve it, I can manage it, I can get by with it. It's okay. But a neurotic is a person who goes into scare. He becomes afraid, he becomes too afraid or fearful, and he gets into anxiety and stress and பதற்றம் சொல்லுவாங்க, மன அழுத்தம், மன இறுக்கம் சொல்லுவாங்க. He goes into palpitations and panic attacks and all those things. So a neurotic is a person who looks at a problem and thinks, I am totally flabbergasted, I just can't do anything about it, I am going for a toss, I will lose or I will die like. A negative or obsessive thought that can take over your mind to the point that it is hard for you to handle normal, everyday, routine, mundane activities. Negative or obsessive thoughts that can take over your mind to the point that is hard for you to manage or handle or look at a given everyday, normal, routine, mundane situations. It's called neurotic behavior. Neurosis is a mental illness that causes strong feelings of fear and worry. A neurotic is defined as any person who accepts and agrees that he has got emotional problems which he is not able to manage. So this is neurosis. Are you with me? தமிழ்ல சொல்லணும்னா ஆழ்ந்த அச்ச உணர்வையும் மனக்கலக்கத்தையும் உண்டு பண்ணுகிற மனநல குறைபாடு கேடு. நரம்பு மண்டல கோளாறு, உளச்சோர்வாக மனச்சோர்வாக வெளிப்படுகின்ற மனநல குறைபாடு, மனநோய். ஆழ்ந்த அச்ச உணர்வையும் மனக்கலக்கத்தையும் உண்டு பண்ணுகிற மனநல கோளாறு கேடு, நரம்பு மண்டல கோளாறு, உளச்சோர்வாக மனச்சோர்வாக வெளிப்படுகின்ற மன குறைபாடு, மனநோய். So this is neurosis. As I told you repeatedly over a period of a couple of years, again and again, when too many things happen which she is not able to manage, Karan Horney went into neurotic problems. So she started specializing in it, and she did a lot of specialization work in it. And then she says, she talks about self, self, self meaning me, the true core of me. Self-concept and self-confidence and self-esteem and self-acceptance and self-appreciation and self-deprecations and all those things. Self-loathing and all come here. Learned helplessness. How do I look at me is number one. So I have a self, and my self is the real self, and sometimes it's an actual self. I think I'm somebody else. My real self is something else, and that's called my real self. My original actual self is my real self. But I think I am different, wherein I think of myself differently. This is called my perception of myself or my perceived self. And then I want to be like that, someplace high over there, 45-degree angle up there in the ceiling. It's called my ideal self. And then I have a glass self. Glass self meaning there is a mirror in front of me. I look at me and the mirror reflects me. And who is the mirror? The mirror is all the people who are living around me. In my family, in my neighborhood, in the community, in the school, college, office, wherever, all of them are mirrors. And I look at me through them. They become the glasses reflecting me. And when this is my looking glass self. I look at the glass, I look at my image there. Similarly, I look at my wife, I look at my husband, I look at my spouse, I look at my children, I look at my parents, I look at my brothers and sisters, I look at my neighbors, I look at my classmates, I look at my team members, and they reflect me. How do they move with me? That becomes my looking glass self. How others look at me. And then comes another area, how I want others to look at me. How I want this glass to reflect me the way I want from other people. How I want to be ideally, that's another one. How I truly think I am, that's another one. How I really am, that's another one. And in that area, because I want to be perfect, I want to be ideal, I have a problem, and neurotic always picks up a goal which is too big. He will not take a realistic, normal goal and then go about doing something about it, working on it and achieving it. A plan doesn't work, he can go to B plan. B plan doesn't work, he can go to C plan and get it done. But then a neurotic always picks up, goes for perfection, goes for a very high goal which he will not be able to achieve. And then he will say, if I don't achieve that, I am not okay. And then he will go into much more depression. To start with, he was the one who created it. He was the one who picked up an unrealistic goal. He was the one who deep inside, he knows that it is not achievable. But then deep inside, that is my ideal self. That is how I want to be. And then he will go about working on it and he will not be able to work on it. He will not be able to achieve it. And then he becomes a despised self. He hates himself. D-E-S-P-I-S-E-D. Despised self. He hates himself. He doesn't like himself because he is not perfect. He is not able to achieve what his ideals were, achieve his goals are. And then because he is not able to achieve his goals and the despised self, that becomes a real self now. Earlier there was a real self. Now what happened was I picked up an unrealistic goal. I yearned for perfection. I could not achieve it. I despised myself. And repeatedly, I started despising myself. And I started thinking that if this is the way it is going to be, yesterday they gave me idli, today they gave me idli, tomorrow, for the past 1 week, they gave me idli, for the past 1 month, they gave me idli, for maybe for the past 6 months or 1 year, they gave me idli. I am absolutely positive tomorrow I will get only idli. Are you with me? So there is a despised self. Despised self was there here today. It was there yesterday. It was there last week. It was there last month. It was last year. It was there for a period of time. The despised self was living with me inside my head, inside my heart, inside my entire body, in my cells, in my blood vessels. Now I started thinking that my despised self is my real self. And I started believing that. And then I started hating myself totally because my despised self is my real self. And then I always search for glory. I could never achieve it. Rather than seeking self-realization, rather than gradually moving towards self-actualization, what I'm aspiring for is glory from the society, which doesn't happen. I become a neurotic. I continue to remain as neurotic. Are you with me? So what do the neurotic do? And what are the steps in which these things happen? So a neurotic, by and large, when she talks about neurotic or when she talks about self, she focuses more attention on women. Normally, we men tend to write in all the books and all the literature, all the school books and college textbooks, wherever we say man or men, we always say men includes woman. We will not write woman. We will always say ye. We will always see the man. We will never say the woman. We will never say she. Because we tell people that man includes woman and we always tend to write man only. We always tend to write from the point of view of man only. And whenever we say human being, we always mean the man and we always mean the lady is included or the lady is subservient or lady is second-class citizen or lady is there somewhere in the corner along with the man like. We never write any textbook starting with the word she or whatever a woman wants. If you write she or woman, then people started thinking, what about men? How can people write about she? Why not he here? If whenever they write he, they take it for granted that it is right. Whenever we write he, they say it includes a woman also. Whenever we write she, people become perplexed, people become questioning. People started asking questions, how can it be she? Why not I am included? And whenever they write he, they say automatically lady is included. In that context, whenever Karan Horney talks about anything, she always talks about with the ladies focus or the woman focus or the feminine focus. She says there is three kinds of people in order to solve a problem, in order to come out of a neurotic situation or what leads to a neurotic situation. This also leads to a neurotic situation. Understanding it and changing it will take you out of neurotic situation. But then what happens is people move towards people. So there are people, a man or a woman, they move towards people, meaning they will always please other people. The only way to get what I want is to take care of all the people around me. Whenever I cater to their needs, whenever I oblige them, whenever I'm subservient, whenever I am taking care of all of them, ignoring my needs, ignoring myself as a human being, whenever I submit to other people's needs, whenever I fulfill the needs of other people, then I am okay. Otherwise, I am not okay. These are the people who move towards people. These people are superstitious. These people are passive. These people are non-assertive. These people do not respect themselves. With the result, the other people also do not respect these people because you yourself do not respect you, because you are always subservient. You are always taking care of other people. You never took care of yourself. So these people have some maxims or some belief systems which are, I need to be liked by everyone. I am completely self-sacrificing. I would almost always rather be with someone else than remain all alone by myself. I care very much about what other people think of me. I feel weak and helpless when I am all alone by myself. I will feel crushed when I am rejected. I try to avoid fighting or arguing. I tend to feel it is my fault if something goes wrong in between two people anywhere. I tend to be the one who apologizes first to the other person. Doesn't matter who made the mistake. I need the company of other people at all points of time. These are all the belief systems of a neurotic, wherein he will always do something else for other people. He will never take care of himself. One reason why they become neurotic. Another group of these people are moving towards other people. And we call this as, in transactional analysis, we call this as please others driver. These people are being driven. They are not drivers. We are not drivers driving a two-wheeler or a four-wheeler. It is the maxim that I need to please other people for my survival or for taking care of my needs. I need to fulfill the needs of other people. It's called please others the driver in transactional analysis. Again, in rational emotive therapy of Albert Ellis, rational emotive therapy or rational emotive behavior therapy, RET or REBT they call it, wherein these are all called irrational belief systems. He has got 13 irrational belief systems wherein I am not okay unless I take care of other people. I need to fulfill the needs of other people. That is the reason why I got created here. I cannot have my wants. All the other people must love me. All the other people must respect me. These are all irrational beliefs. And moving towards other people is also an irrational belief from the point of view of rational emotive therapy of Albert Ellis. Also, it comes under please others the driver in transactional analysis. Here, this is what is leading a person to become a neurotic or come under neurosis. And one other area is, now that I did that, even after submitting to everyone, even after taking care of everybody there, now I don't get what I want. Now I am not happy. Because you are not happy because you are not taking care of yourself. That's a different story. That he himself does not realize or she herself does not realize. So in that context, he goes on to saying that if only I boss over other people, I become powerful over other people, then they will respect me, then they will do something for me, and they will oblige me. Whenever I ask them, they will give something to me. I don't have to give anything to other people. I don't have to work for other people. If I need to be, if I am to make other people to oblige me, the only way I can get it is by becoming secretary, by becoming president, by becoming the leader, by becoming powerful, by becoming the manager or officer or whatever, by having a designation or a qualification. If I am powerful, I can make those people take care of my needs. Again, this is a problematic area. I'm not a normal person. Either I am surrendering too much and doing what other people want, or I want other people to do what I want. I want to be powerful. This is also unrealistic. So these people say, this is a bad world. This is a hostile world. This is a negative world. And life is a struggle. I like to have command over people. The only way to survive is by being the strongest. I enjoy feeling powerful over other people. I enjoy outsmarting other people. Other people are too sentimental. I am not inhibited anyway. I am brave. I am confident. I can be by myself. I enjoy my life. So these people have these kinds of perceptions. Again, these are all irrational from the point of view of rational emotive therapy. And these are the drivers running them. I want to be perfect. Be perfect is the driver. Be strong is also the driver. I want to be perfect, then only I can become powerful. If I am powerful, people will do something for me. So these are two drivers from transaction analysis. Be perfect, be strong. If you are perfect, then it is okay. Then you are okay. If you are strong, then it is okay. And here the person moving against the tide, moving against other people in order to get what I want. Earlier, I moved towards other people, taking care of them. It did not work. Now I became powerful. I'm moving against people. I'm asking people to do whatever I want. And I think this is a negative word and it's a struggle. I am powerful. I enjoy being powerful. And these people are there only to serve my needs. Again, these are all irrational. Even after doing that, still people don't cater to my needs. Still I am not quite happy. We have come across lots of political leaders like that. Lots of MLAs and ministers and will prostrate in front of the chief minister saying that you are God, lady God or man God or whatever. And the lady or the man, the chief minister, they also know that I have the power and these people are falling in my feet. The moment I lose power, they will go to the other person who becomes powerful and who becomes the chief minister after me. These people are not loving, caring me. They don't like me at all. They hate me. They come to me and they fall in my feet only because they think I have the power. Long as I have the power, these people will fall in my feet. Otherwise, I will lose all my power. The individual, the man or the woman as chief minister, they know that nobody likes me. And these people also know that long as you have the power, I will fall in your feet. The moment you lost power, I will go to somebody else and fall in his feet or in her feet so that when they have the power. Only the person who has got the power to give me what I want. And if you are powerless, I will not come to you. Both of them are not loving, caring, truly caring for each other. They hate each other. They know each other. They understand each other. And then they somehow manage to exist hating each other. This is in sociology. This is in politics. And that will give you a much more clearer picture. And the third area is because I am lonely in front. Among 100 people, among 100,000 people, I feel lonely. Why does a cinema movie actor who is 20 years old, 25 years old, who has made money in crores, who has got crores of followers and who looks beautiful, she is young, she is loved by all the 100,000 people around, crores of people around, and she is making money in crores. Why is she committing suicide? Simply because she is not truly loved by anybody. Even though she is beautiful, even though she is young, even though she is talented, even though there are people who wanted to sign in the movies, even though she is a heroine, even though she is being appreciated by people, crores of people, even though she is minting money in crores, deep inside she feels I am not okay, myself is not okay. She is a neurotic and then she becomes a psychotic and then she commits suicide. Lots and lots of heroines have committed suicide when they were 20, 25 years old, minting money all over the world in all movie industry. It holds true. Again, coming over, the third one is moving away from people. I moved towards people, it did not work. I moved against people, that also did not work. I do not get the love and attention, love and care that I want from other people. I am not lovable, I am not respected. So these people will say, I am self-sufficient. I don't really need other people. I can live all by myself. I don't need anyone in my life. I avoid all kinds of obligations as a wife, as a husband. I resent people trying to influence me. I dislike people who are trying to influence me. I try to avoid all advices coming from other people. I can live fine. I can live all right without any friends, without family also. I like it better when people don't share their thoughts or feelings with me. I don't want them to tell me their stories. I feel I'd be better off without people than with people. When no people are there, I'm more happy. With people, I'm not happy. I try to avoid all kinds of conflicts. Only when there is other person, there is a conflict. If no other person, no conflict at all. No obligation at all. Nothing I need to do. Nothing I need to listen to. Nothing I need to tell other people. I am by myself, all okay. These people are moving away people. So there is a moving towards people who are not who have a neurotic problem, and there's a moving against people, again a neurotic problem, and then there's a moving away from people, being all alone, again no love, there is no problem also, there's no love care also. Only when there is another human being, you'll be able to get strokes or appreciations or recognition from the point of view of transactional analysis. You need other people. Only when there are other people, then yeah, you are okay in the society. The WHO, World Health Organization, defines health as physical well-being, psychological well-being, and social well-being. Physically, I'm all right. Psychologically, I'm all right. I am not moving out of this 10 by 10 room. I am here confined for maybe months together, maybe years together. Then I have a problem because I don't have any social connectivity at all. Are you with me? So again, moving away, you have a problem. Moving against, you have a problem. Moving towards other people, ignoring you yourself is another problem. All these things lead to neurosis. And there she says, we need to take care of ourselves. We need to understand. We don't have to put on all these acts. These are the ones which are creating the problems like neurosis and other areas. So the idea is you don't have to be like that. Understand that you have a self, you have a real self. And long as you are connected to your real self, long as you have realistic goals, long as you are doing something worthwhile to achieve your goal, achieve it or don't achieve it, long as you are on the right track, progressing, moving, growing, developing and all those things, there is a loving, caring relationship with you and you get along with people. You don't have to surrender yourself. You don't have to bulldoze over people. You don't have to run away from the people. You can stay with people, connected with people, be a loving, caring person, and then neurosis will go away. That's what he says. So in that context, I'm saying Karan Horney is a person, a pioneer, a radical, a fighter, and a lady who has done wonders in psychology, created lots of psychology subjects, not just one contribution in psychology. She has contributed a lot in psychology, more so in the area called neurosis, more so in the area called feminine psychology, also hierarchy of needs, also Adler, also neo-Freudianism. In very many areas, she has contributed. A wonderful personality called Karan Horney. Not many people know her. Even though feminine psychology is a terminology we know, we do not know that Karan Horney was the first person to coin it and give it to us. So it's nice to know Karan Horney, nice to know her contributions. I recommend people to go to net and then access Karan Horney and feminine psychology, get to know a lot more. I am done. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. For the flawless contribution from you. It was really amazing. Non-stop, you are delivering lecture with utmost energy. And nowadays, young people lack that kind of energy. You are too young for everyone here in this platform. Really wonderful. Hats off to you.
Welcome back.
Yeah, and participants, if you have any queries, feel free to share any observations or comments so that you can get it clarified. So you can unmute yourself one by one.
Hi, sir. Hi, sir. Yeah, you've done a fantastic, fabulous job, sir. As if I read through the psychology and came like that. So done 1 hour, 1 year chapter, one hour you did, sir. Not 100%, 200, 500% justice you have done, sir. It's immense knowledge and immense flow you have, sir. It's, for me, it's very delightful to bring you. We expect more sessions from you, sir, and come and do for us, sir. God bless you, sir. All the best for your next session. All the best for life.
Thank you, Mary Florence.
Good evening, sir. Vimla here. As usual, wonderful session, sir. Excellent. Such informative. We see these kind of people pleaser, who are trying to be strong and who are trying to be alone. But today I got a deeper insight on why they are doing this and how all. That was really nice, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vimla. One other addition that I told you, I'll get back to you. The major influences that she has made was one, Abraham Maslow, hierarchy of needs. Another one was Alfred Adler, neo-Freudianism, along with Henry Stack Sullivan and Eric Fromm. Another one is feminine psychology, another one is neurosis, and the fifth one is Erik Erikson. People know Erik Erikson, psychologists know him as a great psychologist. He talks about psychosocial development. In the initial stage, it says from birth to 18 months, 1.5 years. From the time the baby was delivered till it becomes 18 months, the baby either has trust or mistrust. If mummy takes care of the baby develops trust. If mummy doesn't take care of the baby and the baby remains helpless, then the baby doesn't trust mummy to come and take care of herself or himself. With the result, the baby will not trust anybody else. This trust or mistrust is the first stage from the psychosocial development, stages of psychosocial development developed by Erik Erikson, wherein Erik Erikson got this message from Karan Horney. Karan Horney called it originally as basic anxiety. A newborn baby taken care of by mummy doesn't have anxiety. A newborn baby was not taken care of by the mummy, develops anxiety. She called it as basic anxiety. That's the terminology she coined. From basic anxiety, Erik Erikson picked it up, and Erik Erikson acknowledges, saying that I got it from Karan Horney, and then he calls it as a trust versus mistrust in the first stage of psychosocial development developed by Erik Erikson. So she is in hierarchy of needs also, she is in feminine psychology also, she is in neurosis also, she is in neo-Freudianism also, and she is in Erik Erikson psychosocial development also. She has impacted very many subjects in psychology. That's the beauty of Karan Horney. Others? Questions and interactions.
Sir, Sheila here.
Vanga Sheila.
Good evening, sir. Nice to hear you. I was traveling, so I missed the beginning. But I think what you spoke today, every woman should hear to know about herself so that she can solve most of her problem by herself. And everybody should hear so that they can support a woman and understand a woman. When they say, a woman cannot be understood, she's always a mystery. If you hear this talk, I think most people will stop using that dialogue. So thank you very much, sir, the way you explained it. God bless you, sir.
Welcome. Thank you, Sheila.
Sir, I have a question, sir.
Vanga, Rajesh.
Sir, you during your seminar, you said about there are 3 types of people. Okay, and somehow because of the internet fluctuation, I was not able to hear you for those 2-3 minutes. And by the time you moved to the other concept, can you tell me again, sir, what is it about?
Moving towards taking care of other people, ignoring my needs, and moving against other people, that's the only way I can get all my needs met. And moving away from other people, I don't want anything from anybody. I am not giving anything to anyone else also. So the first one is moving towards people. Second one is moving against people. Third one is moving away from people.
Okay. In moving towards people, they feel that they are actually solving their problems.
No, they are obliging other people and they are not happy by themselves because they are not taking care of themselves. They think others are important, I am not important. I am not okay, others are okay. And moving against people, I am okay, others are not okay. Others don't deserve anything. They are there to take care of my needs. Moving away from people, I am not okay, others are not okay. Let the world go to dogs, I am moving away. That's also not okay. All the 3 are not okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Rajesh. Others? Hello, ask questions.
Feel free to share your observations or any comments or any.
Yeah, comments, feedback, questions, whatever.
Sir, Sheila here again.
Oh, wow.
Sir, so what do we normally, as per our Indian philosophy or the way we bring up our families or children, what we tell is don't go for extremes or balance vechikonga. Don't go towards doing things towards only for yourself and don't go towards doing to others also. So basically, this entire philosophy is just trying to teach us to keep an equilibrium, to keep a balance between our needs and others' needs. Because unless we are happy, we cannot truly help others. And if we keep helping others and hurting ourselves, then we are no good to anybody, not even to ourselves. So what this entire thing is that if we follow this, can we truly then create a balance between our needs and others, and between can we resolve most of the mental illnesses or the physical psychosomatic problems that people normally undergo? Can that be possible, sir?
It's possible, provided you are aware of yourself and aware of your goals and aware of other people who are living with you or getting along with you. Many a time it so happens when two people, man and a woman, get married, it is always the woman who is told, adjust with the in-laws. They never tell the same thing to the man. And they ignore her needs and they say, take care of other people's needs in in-laws' place. Get it? So in that context, a woman becomes a lesser person or a second-class citizen, wherein she is designed or she is married, given in marriage. So that's what they say. Katti kuduthen solranga. Ladies say solranga. People who come to me counseling and sit in my sofa here, they say, Katti kudutanga enna appadimanga. Adana katti kudukradhu, they handing over. Is it a parcel? Is it a material? Are you a product? Are you a good? Amazon delivery? So this is an area where people don't respect themselves. When both of them adjust, man has got to adjust to the needs of the lady needs to get adjusted to the needs of the man. Both of them, when they adjust with each other, then the marriage works. If everything is done to the man, the marriage doesn't work. If everything is done to the lady, the marriage doesn't work. In order to live with another human being, because you were brought up differently 25 years, and he was brought up differently 25 years, when two people come together, very rarely it so happens you will have identical thinking. Even if you have identical thinking, life will become boring. So what creates a charm or beauty to married life is, I have some perception, you have some perception, I learn from you, you learn from me, I adjust, you adjust, I give, you give, I love, you love, and that's how life works. So there has got to be a balance. When children come by, parents sacrifice something for the sake of the children. When they go to college, parents sacrifice something for educating them. So it is always, in some ways, you tell the other person, I give you something, and they give you something in return. That makes a family, that makes the organization, that makes the department, that makes the team, that makes the job, collectively working together, being together, helping each other out. It's called a positive symbiotic relationship. Meaning there is a flower and there is an insect, and the insect wants honey, and the honey is given to the insect, and the process, the insect or the butterfly which comes and sits in the flower and picks up the pollens, picks up the honey, it also picks up the pollens, and when it goes to the next flower, cross-pollination automatically happens. I give you something, you give me something. So the flower gives something called honey, again the insect takes the pollens and gives it to somebody else, and cross-pollination happens. New pollens come by, and our pollen goes to other flowers, and the whole area is beautifully cultivated. So that's how life works. I help you, you help me. I take care of you, you take care of me. I love you, you love me. We coexist. We like each other. We work as a team, as a man and a woman, as parents and children, as mentor, mentee, as boss, subordinate, as colleagues, as friends, whatever, we coexist, we love each other. Right?
True, sir. Sir, what you said is very well explained. Thank you very much. It shows that there should be mutual respect, mutual acceptance, and also that we have to agree to disagree with others.
That's right.
There has to be compromise. I will do it because this seems a better this, but does not mean that I'm wrong. It's just that you have a better way of doing it. So I think this agreement, when it comes in any relationship, whether subordinate, junior, whether husband, wife, parent, child, then I think it makes a lot of the conflicts to be resolved. Thank you very much, sir.
Welcome. I'm truly a feminist. In my training program, I support females. But then in all the other areas, I crack jokes about women, and people think I'm a male chauvinist. I'm not a male chauvinist. I truly support women. I believe in equal rights. 50%, 50%.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Vijay Lakshmi, Kelanga.
Good evening, Muthiah sir. I have been following your deliverances now for quite some time, and conducted by this American college.
Welcome.
So I'll sir, and it's really awesome. And I've already read about Karen Horney, but I've never got so much of insight into it. Like your today's introduction about her has inspired me truly to learn more about her. And I do share this view of yours, sir. Only when we respect ourselves, others would respect us.
That's right.
Yes, sir. And another thing which I would like to share is most of the Indian marriages, the goal is fixed on the girl that she should go and adjust into her in-laws place. Like other than goal is like anything else is not important. Her feelings, what she would expect, that and all is secondary or tertiary only. First, you go satisfy them. A, B, and C. Only then your life is fine.
Equal partners vandudana nalla irukum.
Sir. So when we try to do it, sometimes we fail also. Then we are branded that we are not fit to be a app daughter-in-law or whatever, sir. So how do you think we can change all these things, sir, from our psychology point of view?
Yeah. Assertive irukkiradhu nalladhu. I have my rights. I also demand what I want. Equal pay or equal respect and equally being treated everywhere. But many a time it so happens women are not being treated equally in any country, including USA even today.
Okay.
Since 1776 till date, not a single lady has become American president. And the only way a lady can become American president is by becoming vice president and expecting the president to die. She will not be able to contest an election and win. That's the state of affairs even in USA today. Get the point. So we need to respect lady as a lady. Without a lady, there is no without a lady, there is no such thing called society at all. No lady, men will commit suicide, I tell you. They will be worried. What are we to do without women here?
Okay. Like when we express right being assertive, then we are actually branded that we no longer fit into that perfect person or women, sir.
They have a mold and people want you to fit into that mold.
Exactly, sir. We are programmed to be that way.
Yeah, 50 years back when Indira Gandhi was Prime Minister, the joke was, in Indira Gandhi's cabinet, Indira Gandhi was the only man. All the other men were women. She was the only man. Meaning that they were appreciating Indira Gandhi.
Very true, sir.
So the lady is appreciated when she has got manly qualities, and when she has got womanly qualities and she is feminine, she is not respected properly. Happened in Indira Gandhi, even with Indira Gandhi, Prime Minister of India, was the toughest lady, was really productive and active. Forget right or wrong, she was active. She was powerful. She was decisive. She was respected all over the world. But even she was made fun of. That's what I'm saying.
I understand, sir. So your today's deliverance has motivated me to be more self-centered. It's not selfish, it's self-centered and improving oneself.
Being selfish is good. Ignore all the other people. You are the only person there. You are taking care of yourself. It's called selfish. The point is when we use the word selfish, we think other people are there and we are not taking care of them. I am taking care of myself. Who asked you to imagine other people there? No other people there. I am alone. I am here and taking care of myself. That's being selfish. You joining a course, getting yourself educated, qualified and aspiring for a promotion, doing something worthwhile and coming up in life, you have every right to be selfish. Long as you don't affect other people. Other people are not there, I'm saying. When you are there taking care of yourself, being selfish is absolutely okay.
Thank you so much for supporting my thoughts, sir. I would go ahead in your steps.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Others?
Sir, please start a mentoring program, sir.
What program?
Mentoring program.
Mentoring.
Yeah, where people who agree with what you're saying or who aspire to be like you, at least in some ways in their life. Please start a mentoring program, sir. It'll make a lot of difference. We can pass on your message in our little way to the next generation, sir.
We'll do it. I'll speak with you. Do I have your phone number?
Yes, I will send it to you on the other group, sir.
Right. WhatsApp number. Take my number. Do you have my number?
Yes,
sir,
I have your
a request.
number. I have your number, sir. I'll take it from there.
Others.
Adding to Madam's thing, so this mentoring is something I strongly recommend that you should really do to people like us. And I also request you not to do it free, so that we all take the things very seriously and come out in a very good way.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
So then I have one question, sir, which have been discussed in one seminar, right?
விஜயஸ்ரீ கொஞ்சம் மியூட் பண்ணிக்கோங்களேன், அப்புறம் வாங்களேன். ராஜேஷ் வாங்க.
Right. Sir, in one of the, 2 weeks back in Hyderabad, there was a local, there was a seminar organized and all that stuff, where a couple of psychologists and HR heads also came. Now, people started saying that over the years, women has evolved so much that they have become powerful, they have become independent, and there is a lot of talk in that direction. But one topic that has come up is, in today's context, women are less emotional compared to men. In fact, men are more emotional. Women are less emotional, whether when it comes to family affairs, when it comes to love relationships, when it comes to dating, or when it comes to taking decisions to separate. So when you look at the complete spectrum, the way the women have evolved, men have evolved, that women became less emotional and men have become more emotional and sentimental is what the discussion was. There's nothing concluded in that section. Some women have agreed to that point. Some women says, no, we are still the same and all that. But it was just an open discussion. So I just thought I'll take your views and inputs here, sir.
What I'm saying is, when women come into the area called employment and making money and being independent, the only way they can sustain or maintain or continue to remain there is by becoming tougher and tougher, because it's a men's world. Men were like that. So only by modeling, copying them and doing more of what they are doing, they will find a place in the men's realm. Are you with me? So the pendulum, when you take the pendulum one end, saying men are powerful, the other end, lady will take it to the other end. And then maybe in about 50 years time or 100 years time, ultimately the pendulum will come to the center, wherein both will think that all of us are equal. I have come across, brought up in an area wherein I thought ladies are there to take care of the family, because my mummy was always there at home. She took care of the home and she prepared food, and we took lunch to the school and came back. And when we came back, mummy will be there. She will give us Tiffin in the evening and she will take care of the family. That's how I was brought up. Lately, when I got married, I got to know that my wife is also going for employment. Now I have seen an area wherein lady was at home. I'm seeing an area where my wife is also going to office. I'm seeing an area where my daughter is also going to an office. Later, there will come a time when people will not know that there were times, good old days, ladies were at home doing nothing, and they will not think doing something in the family is worthwhile. Doing nothing at home. Now they come to know that becomes a story. Long ago, so long ago, nobody knows how long ago, ladies were there at home taking care of home. Now, in order to do that, it will take 50 more years or 100 more years. Even though cities have got lots of ladies and computer industry has got a lot of ladies, still we come across in suburban areas and villages, women are not equal, women are not making money. When they also come into the fold, and everyone thinks that everyone will get educated, everyone will go to school, everyone will go to college, everyone will go to office, and that's the time things will come to balance. Now the pendulum is swinging this way, that way.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Others?
Sir, can I have your number, sir, please?
Now I will write to put it in the chat.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
It's 93810-34310. Whoever wants to be in the mailing list, take the number and send me a hi in the WhatsApp. I do not know how to call people, make friends. If people say hi, I respond. Are you with me? I am good in psychology, not in electronics. The other side of me.
So can I just reconfirm your number, sir?
93810.
Okay, sir.
34310. Muttaya.
Thank you. Thank you.
Send a hi in the WhatsApp.
Sure,
I'll keep in the mailing list, and I usually 3 or 4 days a week, I give some talk in English or Tamil connected with self-development or psychology, and I'll keep you in the mailing list so that you can get to know and also participate in my other programs.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Others, questions?
One small thing.
I talk on everything connected with psychology and self-development. Basically, I'm a psychologist and a trainer. Others, questions? Chemical interactions.
So,
Good evening, sir. Sir, how to come out of a narcissistic relationship, sir? Like how a female should identify that she's in a narcissistic relationship and which is the best way to come out? Could you please
You
enlighten us,
also
sir?
call it as codependency. Without the other person, you think you cannot exist. A narcissistic person is a person who loves himself. Narcissus is a Greek mythology angel or somebody, a man, and he was looking at himself in the mirror and he was in love with his mirror. And to the exclusion of all the other people, he loved himself. He wanted to be with himself. He is loving, totally 100% loving himself. He doesn't want anybody else. His name is Narcissus. From that, the word came narcissistic, meaning even though I am married, I will not take care of my wife. Even though I have children, I will not take care of my children. Even though I'm working in an office, I will ignore all the other people. I am concerned only with my needs and my wants. And these are people called narcissistic. They like themselves. They don't like other people. They don't respect other people. They cannot adjust or get along with other people. They need to be taken to some counselors and they need to be told that you are a person who exists in the society, who exists in the family, who exists in an organization. Wherever you are there is a team available. There are people available. You need to give something, take something. You need to, in order to get a good morning, you need to give a good morning. I always want a good morning. I will never give a good morning. It doesn't work. May not work in the long range. If you are powerful for the short duration, you will be able to get what you want. But long range, you will always get toppled by other people. So they can be educated provided they are given counseling from a good psychologist. Are you with me? So narcissism is a problem, and codependency meaning I have a symbiotic relationship. Again, in transactional analysis, very likely the lady thinks I do not. In TA we call our personality as having three kinds of ego states. One is parental ego state, morality principle. Another one is adult calling a reality principle. The third one is called child calling a pleasure principle, wherein a lady has got only the parent or the child. She doesn't have an adult. And the adult is being given by the other person called the husband. And the husband takes over that. With the result, the lady doesn't have an existence by herself. The lady needs the husband in order to compensate her total personality, or the husband needs the lady in order to compensate totally. A narcissist is a person who excludes other people and who thinks, I do not want other people. Whatever I have, it's enough for me, which is not okay. So a symbiotic relationship wherein two people cannot live without each other is again a problem there. And I can live with all by myself is another problem area. Narcissist is a person, narcissistic is a problematic area wherein the person thinks, I do not need other people, I love myself, I'll be with myself. Difficult area, and we need to have counseling.
Thank you, sir, so much. I highly appreciate your session, sir, today. Thank you very much, and God bless you. Stay healthy and be connected with all of us. Thank you so much, sir.
Andrea Powell.
Sir?
Andrea Powell, read books by Mike Powell. That's on self.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Mike Powell, M-I-K-E, Mike, again Powell. Mike Powell on self, S-E-L-F, self. So loving myself, taking care of myself, So there are nice books by Mike Powell. Read them.
Sure, sir. Thank you, sir, so much. Thank you very much, sir. Have a lovely day.
Others, Swaga? Where can we go?
So one question regarding narcissistic people. Sir, actually, these kind of people are very dominant. They are very good in communicating what they think is right, and they are able to mind wash the other people around them, either into making them believe. They kind of bullies, and they appear to be very intelligent people. Now, one such person is enough to hijack the entire thinking or behavior pattern of the entire family. So how can somebody get a person like that to see a psychologist? Because these people can motivate people to do the wrong things just to make sure that their needs are met with. So in a normal family setup or in an Indian setup, how can we bring such a person to a medical practitioner? I feel that's very difficult.
Yeah, I understand. I'll give you another angle. Narcissistic person is a person who loves himself. Right. So what you do is praise him in such a way, appreciate him in such a way, recognize him in such a way, do something good for him in such a way. He feels happy at that point of time, and then you propose, shall we go ahead and meet a counselor or a psychologist or a friend alike. So we know that there is something for which he falls for. He falls for himself. So make him fall for himself by appreciating him. If you do not know what he falls for or what he likes, you will not be able to sell anything to him. If you know, you can easily sell psychology to me. The moment you open the topic psychology, I will cancel all other appointments, sit with you and talk to you for hours. Are you with me? So you know that I like psychology. Similarly, you know that a narcissistic person, he likes himself. So compliment him, appreciate him, recognize him, do something worthwhile for him in such a way. He feels so happy, and that's the point of time you tell him this is what we could do. You can take him next step. So go along. In order to do fishing, you need to take something worthwhile which the fish likes, not what you like. Taking Cadbury chocolate will not get you fish. Taking worms will give you fish. Right?
Okay, sir, understood. Just this is in terms of people who are into this mildly, but there are people who are so ingrained in this particular habit that when I've come across a few people who have actually ruined lives, and even I don't mean to discuss cases, but even try to push somebody into suicide just to prove that you should always be subservient to me by making the person feel guilty to that extent. That is really very wrong, and we as social workers,
the relationship becomes toxic, you need to move away. I'm not recommending it. I'm not saying divorce. I'm not saying separation. I'm saying if the relationship is really toxic and there's nothing that can be done about it. I'm saying before moving away, before separation, before applying for divorce, I'm saying explore all the other possibilities. Explore all the other possibilities. When none of them works, then that's the time we call it as toxic and move away. But before that, we need to take all the steps.
Yes, sir. Actually, for a couple of people whom I had in mind, this was what was suggested, because we tried everything, religious counseling, through friends, through this. When it didn't work, then it was not us, but the spouse who himself or herself took this decision, saying that let it be a formal separation. And then if the person changes, we can go through counseling. Otherwise, I do not want my children affected for life. So thank you very much, sir. You at least cleared that dilemma that we had. Did we guide them?
Problematic relationship is different. Toxic relationship is different.
True, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Others? Matchavargal.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah.
So you spoke about perceived self, mirror self, and ideal self. How can one gain an alignment in all these areas?
You need to introspect, to go within. Look at your performance, look at your thoughts, look at your feelings. Thoughts and feelings are inside, only you know, others do not know. Performance, action, behavior is something which other people say. Maybe they can give you some ideas about how you work or how you perform or how you act or how you talk. Get the point? So observe your thoughts and observe your feelings. Observe your actions also. That's the way you get to know this is an area where I am good at. This is an area, my weak area, but this is a weak area, I can totally ignore and move away. Not that you need to be an expert in every area. Are you with me? So get to understand you. There is your actual self and there is your perception of this is what I am. I think I am really good in English, but then maybe I'm committing some mistakes in my English also. Somebody who is an English professor or somebody who is an expert in English may come and tell me, even though Ramu, you are speaking very fast and very good and tonality and body language and all good, you also tend to make some mistakes in your grammar. Then I get to understand that. My perceived self is I am good in English. My actual self is I am committing some mistakes. Only the expert will be able to identify and tell me that. Are you with me? So there is an actual self, there is a perceived self. Okay. Actual self is a real self. And there is an ideal self. If I am positive, I am moving towards my ideal self. That's a realistic goal. I know what to do. I am picking up psychology books. I am reading. I am delivering something. I am doing good. In case instead of this, I pick up share market book or marketing book or finance book or some such, and then try to give a talk there, I will bungle. I will fail. So that's an area that's not in my ideal. My ideal is in the realm called psychology and self-development. Are you with me? So I'll pick up my ideal self, but I move towards it. I'm positive, I'm motivated, I'm energetic, I'm enthusiastic. I'm day by day, I'm moving towards my ideal self. I achieve that, and then I create one more ideal self. In the process, I also want other people to look at me, appreciate me, give me feedback also. Here also, I'm asking people to give me feedback. So sometimes I do not know, I kept talking. Sometimes I spoke very fast. Sometimes I ignored certain areas. Sometimes I confused people. Sometimes I'm slipped over some other area. And then people have got to give me a feedback, and then I get to know. So here I am moving towards my ideal self. I am committing mistakes. Other people, the other glass self, other mirror self, they tell me this is an area where you need to focus attention on, and then I learn something from them. I want other people to appreciate me. Am I doing something which is appreciable, which is recognizable?
Okay.
Get it? So that's also there. Again, coming to transaction analysis, it says, give a lot of appreciation to people. Receive appreciation wholeheartedly. Do something appreciable, recognizable. And if other people do not appreciate you, ask for appreciation. Even then, if the other people do not give you appreciation, you appreciate your own self. Appreciate wholeheartedly, receive appreciation wholeheartedly, and then do something worthwhile in order to get appreciation, and then ask for appreciation if they don't appreciate you. And if they don't appreciate you, still appreciate yourself. If they give you negative appreciation or criticism, check up, are you wrong? If you are wrong, correct. If they are wrong and they criticize, ignore them and move away. Transactional analysis, the topic is called strokes, STROKES.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Others? Where you are? Close panni.
Sir? Sir, as usual, interesting session, sir. The narcissistic people, and they are superiority complex people.
Narcissistic. Superiority in solve mudiyadhu. They ignore other people. They think they are the only people important. Others do not exist.
Okay, okay.
Narcissism, I love myself. Many a time, boy loves girl, girl loves boy. Many a time. Are you with me? So,
Yeah, yeah.
Narcissistic person who never loves anybody else. He loves only himself.
Okay, sir.
Rare category. Rumba rare category.
Sure, sure. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Nice session, sir. Wonderful.
Others?
Very well answered, sir. All the queries. I have last query if no one has any queries. So
Yes.
one thing is, how do we look at this modern feminist theories and modern feminists, sir, when compared to what we were talking today?
Initial stages, they are entering into an area where they are being independent and they are moving. And the beauty or the irony is this keyboard doesn't know who is typing. It could be a man, it could be a woman. It doesn't recognize man or woman. So far, we were looking at women as women and men as men. And so far, we were looking at men in the office and women in the family front. Now, suddenly a confusion has happened. Suddenly a change has happened. Suddenly a revolution has happened. And the computer doesn't recognize it. Computer, long as you key in properly, it gives you the answers properly. Suddenly, we know that girls can overtake or can be equal in the IT sector. And they are also moving and they are also making money. They are also interacting. They are also socializing. They are also demanding. Earlier, girls were not sent out. And nowadays, they go for night shift also. They make money in 5 digits, 6 digits also. In this context, there will be some confusion. There will be some problem because a child which is started speaking will not know grammar. And the children have got to commit mistakes. The women will also commit mistakes, which is not okay from the socially desirable, socially acceptable angle. Initially, it will also settle by and by in about 50 years' time. Everything will settle and man and woman will be totally equal. Now we are in an unequal area wherein some person is claiming to be equal, the other person is not giving equal rights. That's where the problem comes. Modern women are okay. Modern women will commit mistakes. Modern women will become independent. Modern woman will ask for power. Modern woman will make money. Modern woman will spend money without asking us, without consulting us. And it becomes too bad for men because men never came across a woman being independent. Men never come across women sitting equally. Men never come across women bossing over these people. 10 men Men never come across a woman drinking or smoking, because whatever man does, if she is doing good, she will also do bad. She will also copy what man does bad. No. So she will also do something bad. At that point of time, men will be perplexed, men will be fox, men will not understand. It takes some time, it takes some years. In the overall period in culture, it takes about 50 to 100 years. So I think in about 50 years time, things will change. Till such time, there will be problems. It's okay to have problems. Without problems, we cannot exist. Women will commit mistakes and learn. Men will commit mistakes and learn. Both of them will commit mistakes in this changing situation, and then everything will settle. When it settles, our grandchildren will be all right.
Very
Sir,
well said.
sir,
Yes, Sheila.
sir, thank you very much for your explanation, sir. There are very few people who think like that, and even fewer who can express like that. So in this modern day where everything's so commercial and so materialistic, you're bringing back that Gurukul style, sir, where people not only answer things academically, but cater to that particular person's state of mind and emotion. So thank you very much, sir. Once again, sir, please teach us how we can read and how we can develop this skill, because we can definitely, that's going to be our tribute to you, sir.
Welcome.
So thank you.
Sheila.
Thank you, sir.
Stay in touch. Thank you.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
No other questions, we can close, doctor.
Yeah, thank you, sir, very much for your, elaborate session. It's almost 2 hours. You are still, with the same energy even after 2 hours delivering session. If given an opportunity, you will also continue with the same energy for another 1-2 hours. Hats off to your energy levels, and at this age, you are also keeping very good energy level.
Talking.
Yeah, but the wonderful session, the kind of insights you are providing into various aspects, interlinking various theories and various proponents of our psychology, very well articulated and very well explained. Once again, we thank you, sir, for this wonderful session. Rajmohan ji, do you have any query?
Muthiah Ramanathan, thank you very much. I came late actually today, still I could understand how to respect a woman. Men should respect a woman, how women's interactions are there. I very much thankful to you. Thank you very much.
Close பண்ணிக்கலாம், doctor.
Yes, thank you, sir. The live YouTube recording will be available online, so you can watch if you have missed some part of the session, or it will be there. So you can visit the link. The link has been shared in the chat box, so you can open it and go through it. And if you have still any queries or comments, observation, you can. Sir has also shared his contact number. You can always reach him at his convenience. So thank you once again, Muthiah Ramanathan sir, for joining us, and it was really a wonderful session. I was very much tired when I came here, but now I became very energetic. I thought of getting, ready and refresh myself, but I just sat before you, enjoying the session, and now I feel, fully energized.
Welcome.
Because,
you make my day, doctor.
Yeah, and you also did, sir. So that's a wonderful, that's some, magic, it happens when we are with the like-minded and the, enlightened persons. We each together, we gain so much knowledge, insights, and motivation. Really a wonderful session from you. And we look forward for more sessions from you, and we wish you all the success. Thank you, sir. And on behalf of Sri Holistic Health Foundation, India, and Sri Research Institute Center for Arts, Sciences and Wellbeing, and also on behalf of all the participants, we wish you all the success and look forward for more sessions in future. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Good day. Thank you very much.
Dear participants, feedback link has been shared in the chat box. I am sharing once again. So kindly fill up the feedback form.
Hello, excuse me, doctor.
Hello, ma.
Doctor, good evening, doctor. Is there any WhatsApp group for this?
You can fill up the feedback form, ma. I will be sharing later on.
Okay, 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 doctor. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I will send you a mail through which you can join.
Okay, doctor. Thank you, doctor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for joining us for today's wonderful session. Before leaving, kindly fill up the feedback form.
No, Rochika.
Dear participants, quickly fill up the feedback form. The link has been shared in the chat box. Dear participants, quickly fill up the feedback form. After filling up the feedback form, you may leave the platform. Thank you. Take care. Good night. Hope everyone has filled the feedback form. See you all tomorrow at the same time. Every day we have sessions from 6 to 8 and on Sundays from 11 to 5. Keep joining. See you all tomorrow at the same time with the same link with a different topic. Certificates will be updated on website. You can visit website and download. The instructions were also provided on the feedback form. The website link has also been shared in the chat box with the feedback link. You may visit the website and bookmark so that you can later on visit website and download your certificate.